Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. So I have, this is one of the passenger side upper trailing arms or whatever they're called for the Monte Carlo. We need to get these cleaned up and painted or POR 15 before, you know, we can put the rear end together. Now there's still a lot of work that's got to be done to the rear end. We need to needle scale it. There's some work on one of the spring perches that need to be done. It needs to be wire wheeled. It needs to be pressure washed again. It needs to be pressure washed again. Needs to be pressure washed again. So I figure we can work on the trailing arms. Maybe get those done today. I think there's a lot of work involved in that, so let's just get started there. Originally I was gonna throw these in the blast cabinet, sandblast them all up, paint them with some 2-in-1, but I don't know, they're kind of rough. Let's see. I don't think no matter what I do to them, they're not gonna look the greatest, so you know, PR 15 may just be the way to go. You know, one day down the road, these are easy enough to change. We may put new ones in. You know, they're not badly priced. I think it's like $200 or $230 or something for all 4 of them, brand new with new bushings, everything. But you know, I think this car, we're gonna get it to a certain point to where it's, you know, almost done, painted and running and whatnot. And then, you know, we'll move on to another project at that point. But like, you know, when we order new carpet for it, like I'll do a video, we'll put the carpet in it. You know, when we get the seats redone, you know, I'll video that and we'll put the seats in. And you know, as the car starts to come together more, you know, maybe later on down the road we'll come back and we'll replace seats. You know, but right now I don't have thousands of dollars to spend on this thing. I'm trying to get it built on a budget. So, and then later on down the road we can always do upgrades to it. So that's where I'm leaning towards this and thinking about, you know, what our steps are that we need to do and get this thing back on the road. So you can see, you know, it's not perfect by any means, but you can see how much that needle scaler, you know, knocked off and cleaned this up. Now we put some PR 15 on it and it'll look decent. So, you know, it's not gonna be perfect, but I don't want to put a rusty piece back up underneath there after we just did everything that we did to the bottom of that car, so. Okay, so those cleaned up pretty well. Like I said, there's nothing that I can do to them to make them, you know, look like brand new. They're just so pitted from the rust. You know, I mean, I could sandblast them and get them all down to bare metal and body work them and make them look, but my time's worth more than what I could buy new ones for. So we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna, you know, paint them the way they are, but you know, they cleaned up fairly well. I mean, you can see the mess that it made, you know, all the stuff that we knocked off of it. So I'm gonna put a piece of tape on the inside of these, marking these as passenger side, because that's what they were. Passenger side. So there'll be like a 2-part process. We'll set them up on the sand, we'll POR 15 them, then I'll come back in a couple of days and we'll flip them over. I'll mark on the outside, passenger side, we'll pull the tape off the inside, and we'll do the insides of them. So, but I got the driver's side still that I gotta do. I can make you guys watch me do that all over again. You know, it only took a half hour to do these two. So I'll be back in a half hour, 45 minutes or so, and we'll get these POR 15, and then we'll jump over to the rear end. Like we gotta remove the brake lines from the rear end. Probably end up removing the master cylinders from back there, or the brake cylinders from there. Easier to take them off before you POR 15 it. It's getting all new stuff anyway. So, and then like I said, there's one spring perch on there that's pretty rotted out. So we're gonna do something with that. All right, you guys shut off right there at the end. But I was saying there's the one spring perch that's messed up, and I have an idea. I have some exhaust, I don't know what you want to call them, like step downs. Here, one second, I'll show you. So I have these, they're like exhaust adapters where you can put it over, a bigger size and step down to a smaller size or vice versa. So I'm thinking, it's a decent metal. I think I have a whole bunch of these, so we can find a piece that fits the spring, and we can cut off what we need and remove that spring perch and weld that back on. And I think we'll be just fine. Looking at what the spring perches are like now, like it doesn't look like it's any thicker than this. I think it'll be the same thing, just no holes in it. So I think that's where we'll go next. But let me get the other side cleaned up, and we'll be back to POR 15 these, and then we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, we're back. I got them all cleaned up. We're gonna POR 15 them. I just taped some acid brushes together. These are cheap acid brushes off of Amazon. They fall apart, but I don't want to waste one of my good big brushes just on these few little pieces. I'd rather save that for doing the rear end or something. So I only have one brush left. I need to go get another round of them. I just get them from the dollar store, but I haven't been there lately, so we'll just use these acid brushes. They're small parts. They take a few extra minutes, but they'll still come out looking good. Might have a few hairs in them. Alright, so that's one done. What a difference, huh? So I'll see you guys when we get them all done. Be back shortly. Alright, so we got them all POR 15. They look so much better. Like I said, they're really rough looking still, but it's because they were just so pitted. There isn't really much you can do about that. Like I said, unless I was to sandblast them and body work them, and I'm not doing that. So good enough for now. It looks good. It's better than the rust. They're cleaned up. They're probably a little lighter than when we started, that's for sure. Knocked a bunch of grease and undercoating and rust and spider webs and all types of stuff off of them. So, but they look good. I'm happy with them. So now I'm gonna go over there and assess the situation with the rear end and see where we're gonna go with that. See you guys in a few. First thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna cut the brake lines. We're not using them, but I am gonna set them aside, and we're gonna keep them so that when we get our new ones, we can bend them to match. We're gonna take out the wheel cylinder, and we gotta remove the shock bolts. So we'll keep this, we'll set it aside, and we can match the new one to it. Oh, look at that one, it broke there. All right, now we gotta get these wheel cylinders out. Now these things have this weird clip on them that holds them in. Normally it just pops out, but so rusted and rotted. Come on, get out of there. Alright. So these have this weird clip that these go in from the one side, and then this clip goes on, and as you push the clip on, it locks itself in place. And that's what holds these in. All G bodies are like that. So, and a lot of times when you're looking back there, you can't see this clip, you don't know. So if you don't know what, if you don't know, like if you've never changed a G-body style wheel cylinder before, you would never know that that's back there. So, yeah, but that's it. Usually you can just get a screwdriver in there and pry, and it'll pop it out. But this thing was so rusted, what I ended up having to do was just on the one side, I took my punch and I hammered it in so that it was like unlocking the one side of the tab, and then used my screwdriver to pry, and then it popped out. So, you know, if you got a little bit cleaner of a setup, you know, it should pop out with just hammering it with the screwdriver and prying. See if this one comes out any easier. See, this one popped right out. So, you can see it was that easy. This one popped right out. That other one just was fighting me. Okay, now we gotta try and get these shock bolts out. So when I went to remove the shocks, the bolt that you take off to remove the shocks, I soaked them. As soon as I hit them with the impact, they just snapped right off. Now they make replacement sets for these. They are a little bit different than this. I believe that it's just a through bolt, and the bolt has a shank on it that goes through the shock, and that bolts on the back. So instead of having that nut that always breaks, it's just a bolt now. So they kind of made it a little bit better, redesigned it, I would say. Now, I probably should grab some vice grips while I was over there, but I did not. Hey. All right, that didn't even budge. Let's get some heat. Bottle got cold, flame got little. All right, it is a beautiful day. I enjoy having the door open, but we're about to bust out the needle scaler, and that's loud. So I'm gonna shut up the doors so the neighbors don't have to listen to it. But we're gonna do around, not the shock, the springs, where the springs sit, like the little spring perch guy. That one is all rotted out, and we gotta address that. So that's gonna be the first thing that we work on, is that. Let me put you guys back over here. So we got this spring perch is just rotted out. That one I see a little hole in, but if it stays together, well, I'm good with that one. But we definitely gotta address this one. Alright, so that one, we did knock a couple of holes in it, but most of it's there, 99% of it's there. This one, on the other hand, let's see if I have something that's about the same size as that fits in the spring, that we can cut that off and weld it on there. Alright, this is what I'm looking at. I got a bunch of these. Like, it would be nice to just put that over and weld it in, but I don't think it'll fit the spring. I think that's our winner right there. We can't go over it, can't go inside it. I guess we could go inside it, but I'm not gonna do that. I think that one would work as well. Not over. So let's grab the spring, see what we got to fit inside. Now this will be getting new springs. Alright, we need let's see if I had my tape measure underneath me. So 3/4 of an inch. I'm gonna put this in the chop box. We'll cut 3/4 of an inch off. let that cool off for a minute. We'll go clean up the other side and get it ready to weld. Metal to ground too. Maybe we will do the other side. If this comes out good and the spring fits on there, we'll just do the other side. Alright, it all welded up nice except for one little spot. It blew a couple holes in. And that's why I kind of welded it the way that I did. I didn't go, you know, full blast welding it like as if I was going to weld a frame. You know, for one, like this stuff, you know, I mean, it's thick. It's thicker than sheet metal, but it's not super thick. And neither is the stuff that's on the rear end. The stuff that's on the rear end is probably thinner than this now because of all the rust, but I bet it was the same size from the factory. So, you know, I think we're good. I'm not even gonna grind down those welds. I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and just do the other side. Might as well. You know, originally I didn't want to do this side because, you know, I don't like messing with, you know, stuff that holds in suspension. Like, unless you're putting all new stuff in and welding new stuff in, like I don't like messing with it. It's kind of like, you know, me with the seat belts. Like, I was, you know, we redid all the seat belts in there, but I had to make sure that they were done well because they gotta hold you in the car. But after doing that, I think my side is stronger than this. So let's go ahead and just do it. Knocking it down a little bit because it looked a little taller than the other side, so I think we're good. It might be a little bit taller than the other side still, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. So, and I'm sure these springs are a little bit smaller than a new set because they're so rusted. Alright, let's clean up a little, I guess. Let's start needle scaling some stuff. 90% of it came clean with just hitting it with the needle scaler. Up around the drive shaft U-joint thing there, that was really greasy. I had to hit that with the wire wheel. I don't know if you guys seen that. And it kind of flung grease all over everything, but most of it came clean. You know, I'm almost half tempted to just PR15 it the way that it sits, but still got to flip it over and do the other side. And I can see that the other side, that's the bottom, that's where all the grease has been sitting. So the bottom is next. We'll see how that comes out. All right, so we're back. I got it flipped over. So let's start cleaning. I don't have my safety glasses or my gloves. Be right back. So we got that eclipse is going on, so Colleen keeps coming out here and we're looking at it through the welding helmet. That's pretty cool. I'd show you guys through the camera, but I've tried with my phone and it's not showing up, so I highly doubt it's going to show up on the GoPro either. Maybe when it's full eclipse we'll go out there and see, but the light's starting to get weird. Like, it's not dark out by any means, but it is, like, and we're only probably about quarter way into it right now. So we're gonna go back out there in like another 20 minutes and see what it looks like then. Alright, eclipse is over. Well, there's still an hour of it going the other way now, but it was cool. We got to see the full eclipse for just a split second, and then you know, it was still light out, but very weird. It was like you were in the shadows. Pretty cool. It's not my first one, but you know, cool to see regardless. Back to work. Alright, I think that's as clean as we're going to get it besides pressure washing it, and I do think that we're going to pressure wash just because this bottom was pretty greasy. So there's one more thing that I want to do before. All right, come on. Boy. So there's a couple tabs here that that the brake lines are supposed to lock into, and they're broke off. So I'll grab a piece of scrap metal. We'll make a couple of tabs real quick, and we'll weld them on. So. another one. Alright, looks pretty good if you ask me. Alright, I guess we can roll this thing out and get her pressure washed up. Well, I'm gonna spray some stuff on there, some gunk, engine gunk. And we'll let it soak. I got some of this O'Reilly engine degreaser. I have a can of gunk too, a brand new can, but I figure we'll use this up. There's probably only a quarter can left of it. It looked good, just cleared. Just kidding. Still going on. I highly doubt you guys could see it. So, but anyways, we're gonna let that soak. Hey, I'm down here. We're gonna let that soak for a while. I'm gonna get the pressure washer all set up. We were able to finish up that can, so that's nice. Without getting into the gunk. So I'll see you guys when it's time to pressure wash. I'm out. Gotta keep those white walls clean. Puddle in front of my shop. Every time it rains. So that's it. We got it all pressure washed up. That's as far as we're taking it. I'm gonna leave it outside to dry. Alright, we're back out here. I got the rear end inside. I did do a little bit off camera. I taped off our bump stops. I taped off our little breather vent over there. And I cut off the other brake line guide that was the original brake line. We redid the two and then we left the one that was original. And when I was out there cleaning it, I was like, well, it doesn't match. So I cut it off, made another one, welded it on, so we're good to go. And then I have put down some paper so that we don't make too big of a mess. Now we still got to rebuild this rear end. At the very least, it needs with a pinion seal or whatever that is up at the front U-joint seal, or at the very least, because it leaks like a sieve from there. And then it'll need a bell housing cover gasket, at the very least. But I really want to turn this thing into a posi. They sell the kit for it. They're not overly expensive. They're about $650, and it comes with everything to rebuild it. So all the seals that I would need, everything is there. And at that point, we would have our axle shafts off, and we'll be able to replace our dust covers. So I'm gonna paint the dust covers for now, just so that they're done and they look good. But chances are we're gonna be removing those and replacing them. So they do have some rot in them. When I was cleaning them up with the needle scaler, we were poking holes and stuff. So, but for now, we'll just paint them up so that they look pretty. But let's get to it. Got myself a little 99-cent brush from the dollar store. So she's gonna look good. While I paint this, I'm gonna turn the volume on my TV, so enjoy some music. Alright, so that's it. She's all black. I'm gonna call it a night here. It's already 10:15, so we'll let this dry. Tomorrow I'll clean up our mess here and go stick it over on the other side where it can dry the next few days. And like I said, we'll probably flip it over on Thursday, and we'll do the other side. There shouldn't be much on the other side. Like I really tried to reach under there and get as much as I could. So shouldn't be much to do on Thursday. I left the axle things. I did the center just in case we end up putting some wheels on it that I don't have center caps for or something at the moment. At least they're painted black. I guarantee you whatever wheels we put on here will have center caps. Or at least I'll be able to get center caps. Not to go off topic, but she's got rims picked out for them, brand new, so they'll come with center caps. But I know me being the cheap guy that I am, I'll try and find something on Marketplace that we can go get for a decent price. And they may not have center caps, you never know. So, just in case, I painted the centers of the axle shafts. So, but I didn't want to get POR15 all over the threads and the lug threads and whatnot. So I left that just alone. You won't ever see it once the brakes are on there. But got everything all coated, looking good. I'm happy with it. That's another big step done. You know, we'll get it finished up on Thursday, but that's a huge step. So thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the video of the rear end refreshing. It wasn't just cleaning up rust and POR15 in it. We fixed the spring perch on both sides. We added some new brake line clips. And then, yeah, we cleaned it, did a little pressure washing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I'm out.